My neighborhood in Southern California. We're in Venice Beach. People ask me all the time to tell them about my story, how I went from being a kid in communist Romania, freezing and starving, to helping billionaires give away 45 million a year to change the world. But that's not what I'm most proud of. What I'm most proud of is being of service to the community, stuff like this. When people understand that what I do helps them change their lives. Because you're taking the time to watch this video today, I'm going to give you at the very end 3 things that I have learned from my work with millionaires, billionaires, movers, and shakers. And in the meantime, please check the website and look at my services and the people that I work with and for. I moved to California in 1999 with 2 suitcases and $64 in my pocket. That was not because I was poor, but because I gave it all away. $64 was all the spare change I had left. I did it because I believe so much in the American dream, and I figure I will make more. I was right. It is not a strategy I would advise, but it shows you my youthful idealism. I think my courage is rooted in my personal history. I grew up under the communist dictator Ceausescu, and it was a really weird time. The only right that I had until I was 18 was the right to keep my mouth shut. It was about oppression and scarcity. We had money, but we couldn't buy anything. There were no books, no food, no clothes. Let me tell you a story. I was 9 years old and my brother was 3. Every morning we would have to wake up at 5 a.m. to go stay in line for milk. Why we both had to go? Because they would only sell you 1 quart per person, and my mom just had a new baby and we needed 2 quarts a day. It was a really interesting moment for me, and you learn to make stuff happen really fast when you're this tall and you're being pushed in line by a guy who is 6 feet, or when a crazy grandmother is brandishing at you a sharp crochet the size of your arm. When your baby brother's starvation is on the line, you really learn negotiation and communication. You become very adaptive. And in a way, maybe you don't become fearless, but something very close to it. I'm a social entrepreneur. Skylarx is my 6th startup. I began in high school with an underground fashion business, making dresses for local socialites at a time when owning a business was illegal because the state had everything. After the fall of communism, I delved deeply into the corporate world. I got a promotion every 6 months. I learned everything that I could, and I added value to every conversation I was part of. At the age of 25, I was managing a database in 22 countries in Europe and Africa, and also managing a team of 29 people, many of which were 20 years my seniors. It was trial by fire. I loved every minute of it. I always had a yearning for helping people. My second client in California was a philanthropy advisor, and that connected me with the social impact sector and the philanthropy world. It was magic. It's been 20 years since that day, and I have never looked back. For the first 16 years, I worked exclusively with high net worth and ultra high net worth families, helping them support health, education, veterans, human services, you name it. While I have a pretty deep expertise in those areas, I am fundamentally a process expert. I build solutions. Let me tell you the most important things that I have learned in 20 years in the philanthropy and social impact space. Number 1, as Warren Buffett would say, you have to stay in your circle of competence. Giving money away well and changing the world is as hard as surgery. Yes, you can cut a person by brandishing a knife, but if you want to heal the person, you need a scalpel, you'll need to be thoughtful, you need expertise, and it's a much slower process. If you wouldn't dream of doing your own surgery, it would be pretty much the same about doing your own philanthropy. Just writing a check is not changing the world. If you are lucky, you do a bit of charity and you perhaps purchase some social capital. If you are unlucky, you can damage your brand, waste your money, and possibly hurt the community. So please hire a professional. Why should you care? Because I work to build a good future by partnering with people of wealth and organizations with purpose. Let me give you 2 examples on how I do this. This Tuesday, I got 5 phone calls from 5 different people, 2 women, 3 men, and they all had the same set of problems. Fundamentally, they had a business model that wasn't working, and they were not achieving the income and the impact that they were looking for. So I did executive coaching sessions, quite deep ones, with every single one of them. We shifted some paradigms and put them on a path to change from where they were today to where they want to be. Example number 2. One day, 2 people from a very, very large organization walk in. They have a $10 million budget a year, and they need to figure out how to give it away well. I asked them, what do you care about? They looked at each other and said, we care about the ocean. I said, okay, what about the ocean? Species, acidification, pollution. They said, pollution. What kind of pollution? Chemical spills, plastics. Plastics. What about plastics? Do you want to clean it up? Do you want to invent plastics that biodegrade? Do you want to support education so kids grow up not throwing plastics into the water? They thought about it and they said, all of the above. I asked, where? California, South Pacific, somewhere else? And they said, let's start in Southern California and go from there. So I built them a portfolio of grantee organizations that provide education, the research on plastic pollution, and cleanup operations. I always look across the aisle, across sectors, across industry. Just like that little girl many years ago, I solve problems and I get stuff done. I get people unstuck. I bring clarity out of their chaos. Who are our clients? I have worked with 17 foundations and close to 3,000 nonprofits. Today, I'm very interested in working with businesses and increasing the value of brands through the power of philanthropy. And here, I want to give you the 3 nuggets that I promised in the beginning. What are the 3 things that I have learned from millionaires and billionaires in the past 20 years? Number 1, focus creates growth. In investment banking, in health, in relationships, in business. Diversification is a very, very special strategy, which most of the time is not what you want to do. Focus. Focus is critical. Number 2, it's all about people, and it's all about leadership. And by the way, wealthy people are also people, and in the end, it turns out that they are quite nice and amazing to learn from. Number 3, money is a commodity. Everyone has some. It's like coffee. Everyone has some beans. You need to use it to do other things. Please reach out. I am Cristina Gallegos, a strategist for the social sector and expert on global change. Today, I build convergence towards people, planet, and profit. I want to learn about you. I want to learn about your needs, and I want to work with you. Let's talk.